fit so well, and it would make living with him such a joy. And I think this puppy has the capacity to be that dog that you're out and about in public with that is like perfect. So earlier I said he's not going to have quite as good of inherent good manners, that natural just like turn off and chill response that you might see with another dog. But that's not to say that you can't teach this puppy to be like the dog that
and how smart he is
and
how he responds to everything. Like he will need a class.
Yes.
He will need more than just home manners. He needs a little bit more stimulation, a little bit more stuff happening for him.
It's the flip side of the intelligence, but he's so responsive that he's gonna, I mean, look at even that paw, trying to give me the paw. He's really trying to learn what I want and how to engage with me and how to keep this relationship we're building going. So he's going to be a real joy to work. He's just going to need that little extra bit to get over the energy and the intelligence and channel that into something. But man, channeled, it's going to be all at your disposal. So this is in no way a bad thing. It's like a really good thing. I think he'll be extremely responsive. Cute little boy. Umbrellas, I guess the last thing, right? Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna move the can so that doesn't startle him away from the umbrella. Okay, so visually a little less confident.
His tail stayed up.
Yeah, he's not overly afraid. And I like that, again, his coping mechanism was just to come back to me and sit and watch it. So not problematic at all. He's not actively afraid, he's just cautious, which is not a bad response. But that's good to know. So like when you're out and about, things that it's gonna be the visual stuff that's gonna likely elicit more of a fearful response or anxious response than the noises. And for most dogs it's the noises, but for him it's visual. So flapping flags, tarps on fences, you know, like Aaron at daycare, some dogs really respond because they have the shades that go on the fence for privacy, and some dogs really respond when the wind picks those up. He would be one of those that would probably not care for that till he got used to it. And it's persisted, like he's still sitting here thinking about it. Of course I'm petting him, and I don't think he's altogether that motivated to leave that, but
he's looking at there, so
he hasn't forgotten about that thing. He's still thinking about it. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? How about that? Yeah, how about that? What do you think about that? What was that? What was that? What was that? Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. So he is a puppy that deflated a bit when something he didn't really know how to deal with presented itself. So that's good and bad. On the good side, I would rather see that reaction, especially since he came back to me and is continuing to come to me for reassurance. Again, that's a really nice, healthy coping mechanism for him, and that's been his default from the beginning. So I really do like to see that I feel like that's a very positive thing. On the negative side, he is a puppy that if that need isn't met and fulfilled, then I think his confidence could tank pretty easily. Not easily in a like overly easily. It's just a natural part of puppy development and raising. but it's something to know that if you want to keep that bubbly, happy, confident demeanor, then if something does throw him for a loop, you need to be there for him. You need to be his emotional support. You need to meet that need. Don't withdraw yourself or distance or throw him into the deep end of the pool if he's not throwing himself in. Support him, because I think he's recovering already. He's going back to his bubbly self, but he needed a minute. So, and that's totally okay. Different personalities have different needs in that regard, but it's good to know that his is to receive some reassurance. So easy problem to navigate. Just when he needs reassurance, give it to him. And the difference there is super clear, so it should be really easy to see when he needs it. He'll come and ask you for it. But a lot of people are really hesitant to give that because the dominant thinking in dog training for such a long time has been, don't feed the fear, don't reassure your dog if they're being afraid. And with him, I absolutely would. I mean, I would anyway, but for him, I would be very mindful to give him that reassurance, and then encourage him to go back out and experience the world and do things, but don't push him. Let him work through it. Give him that time and space. Be patient with him. Let him process through, because he will. And I'm betting if I move this now, he's already associating it with my hand and not the thing, so he's separated the mechanism that's making it move. He knows that this is me doing it, and a playful reaction, which is exactly what I was hoping to see. So yeah, I mean, he's fine. He'll be fine, but he needs that minute, and he needs that minute with you. He's not a puppy that needs the minute to sit there and think about it on his own. You need to be with him in that moment.
And with him, and I think it looks like he also sat there with you, and then he went and found his favorite toy and played, and that seemed like it kind of helped him de-stress and decompress a little bit. So it's a good strategy to remember.
And you can totally, this is easy to use. I had to use this a lot with Chai, my puppy, when she was, she hit a stage where she was maybe 16-ish weeks old, and that was the thing that really moved her through that. Was she is very environmental, so she needs to just kind of be left alone to process at her own time and speed, and get through it. She didn't want a lot of that social reassurance from me. She wanted to figure it out for herself, but she would get stuck. And that's, again, development. As their brains are developing and growing and they're learning how to cope with situations, it's really normal for things like that to happen. So it's not a problem. But when I would see her get stuck, what I learned that I had to do that worked for her was to engage her with play. And I would grab a leaf, I would grab a twig, anything on the ground. I finally got to where I was carrying just a little teeny piece of fleece, just real small, in my pocket or in my bag, when I would have her out and about. So if she got stuck at that age, I had something handy that I could engage with her and get her playing, because it was getting that play and getting that movement that would allow her to decompress and move her past that stuck point. So just keeping that in mind, that might be a strategy that plays well with him too, in the future, exactly like you said. Because it was what he went to himself. And he is one that will definitely learn to translate that back to your hands. So if you're out in public and all of a sudden he starts getting really bitey and grabby like this, I would not interpret this anymore as a play response. He's biting me a lot harder than he was before. I think this is a little bit of residual stress. He's coped with all of this, he's fine, but the whole point of a temperament test is to introduce stress to the puppy, so it's built up. He's tired, he's hungry, he's had a long day. He's not going to have as much resiliency for that as he would if we'd done it like we normally would 4 hours ago. So I am noticing that bitiness does start to come out in his stress response. And then he goes and investigates, and he'll come back, and now he's asking me, did you see that question he was asking? What do I do? And so I'm answering him, why don't you play with this toy here? And he took that and went with it. So again, if you're noticing that bitiness starts to change or intensify or get sharper, then my go-to with that would not be, oh, the puppy biting is getting worse. It would be, what's he stressed about, and how has his stress accumulated over, based on what you're doing. If you're out and about in public, it's probably time to go home. If you're at home, then what has happened in this whole long day? Is he getting tired? What does he need? I think that's much more a stress response, and it's one that he will kind of gravitate toward. So it's something else just to be aware of. It's information. And when we have information, then we're able to channel it where we want it to go and help him build good skills. I think he's the kind of puppy that if somebody went in and didn't meet those needs, they could get frustrated with him very easily, but there's no need for that frustration. It's very, very easy to navigate and manage. So it's none of that is a problem. It's all in how you deal with that situation when it arises. I mean, look at how quickly he stopped. It's very easy to handle productively, but if you don't handle it productively, you might not like the results. And again, this comes with a fun puppy. When you've got that really smart, really active, really energetic, bubbly personality type, these are exactly...
Very social. Yeah, they comes with the territory. That's just the sauce. That's the secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce.
And he's like, yeah, I see your hand there. I want that. Or
again,
the leash.
There's that intelligence. He knows what he wants. And he's already learned with me that I'll engage with him that way, so that's what he's going to keep trying to restart. So you see how quickly he learns. And that's why I say if you don't go into it knowing this, it would be easy for you to feel very frustrated, but it's not. Being frustrated is not an accurate response to the situation. It's misreading what you're seeing and what's happening. He's really going to be a very easy puppy to live with. You just need to know these things and deal with them from day one, and you'll have as close to no problems as you ever have with a little creature that's still having some brain growth. But look at how quickly he settles down, even when he's amped. And I love that even when he turns around and bites me like any puppy would, it's the snuggle bitey thing instead. It's very gentle and then easy to turn off. So this is very easily manageable. It's just FYI, heads up, that's who you're getting with this guy. Just deal with it and you'll be really happy with him.
You're a good boy.
Yeah.
You're a good boy. You're going to be so much fun. You're going to be a fun puppy.